What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Marshall D coming at you with another deck profile. Today we have Angel Feathers, specifically the ergediel build, and let's get into it. So the main grade 3 is Cosmos Healer ergediel. Counterblast 1, choose up to 2 cards from the field, so that's your field or your opponent's field, put it into damage, and then heal cards equal to X. You can put your own cards, you can put your opponent's cards, and he also gains a crit. He's really, really good. I think he's very underestimated. A lot of people in the beginning, they said, oh, this card's bad because you give your opponent free counterblast. But it doesn't really matter with this build because you swing for a lot of high numbers, and the biggest thing is controlling. Control the board, control the field presence. If you have more cards and you have more field presence than your opponent, you're winning by a landslide. And yeah. Next up we have 3 Crimson Impact Metatron. Ergodiel is you want to see him as your first ride, and sometimes even later in the game as like your last ride. This Crimson Impact Metatron, Counterblast 2, call a card from your damage onto the field. So it's a pseudo hill. This is what you want to ride second, third, fourth. I've seen a lot of people play her at 4. I personally don't think 4 is the right number. It can be in some instances. We're going into a more force-heavy format, so I might bump her up to 4. I'm not positive yet, but I haven't had a problem with 3. The reason I prefer 3 is because I really just want to see her mid-game and going into the grind game. But with ergodiel, you don't really have to go into a grind game because right off the bat, I forgot to mention that he gets plus power for everything face up in your opponent's damage. So you giving them face up damage, let's say they have 2. He's already swinging for 22 crit, no support. And yeah, you're really not gonna need a late game. At max, you should probably ride up to 4 or 5 times, and a lot of decks already are fizzling out at 4 or 5 4 to 5 grade 3 rides. Then we have aesthetics, visual sims. So she is your new Mobile Feather Palace. When it attacks, if a new card was put in your opponent's damage, she gets plus 10. Discard a card, and your opponent can't Sentinel. Originally, I was like, wow, you have to discard a card. I don't like this card, but after a while, I was like, you know what? Discarding a card doesn't matter, especially if you hit the crit. So that's 22. She'll be a 32, no support, no Sentinels. Right there, boom. And it's just really strong. Let's see. Then we have 2 Solidify Celestial Sorachi. So originally this was a tech choice for me because I wanted to play. Cause I'm playing 11 grade 3s, by the way. But so originally this was a tech choice for me. I like this card a lot. If it's in damage, superior ride it. Get a protect gift, and the front row gets plus 3. She's really good, especially if you get grade locked. A lot of people don't know this, but if you see this in damage on like turn 1 and you just don't have the answers, you just don't ride, bro. Like, you'll let that go into the damage, you guard early, and yeah, they'll be at grade 3 before you will, but then you can just ride this from grade 0. Like, ride this onto your grade 0 so then you have a free grade 3. Boom. And they're like, what? I thought I was winning. And then you hit them with the, nah, think again. There's also a build running around. If you watch, what's it called? I'm thinking of, like, if you pay attention to the Japan meta, there's been 2 builds that recently topped with Sorachi and just Metatron. And Mobile Feather Palace. That's a good build too. I feel this build is I'm not going to say better because there's no real results for it. People aren't testing it. But I feel this build is really, really strong. This build actually beats Excel decks very easily. The other deck tries to beat Excel, but, sometimes it just won't beat Excel because Excel has so many attacks, you can't kill rear guards, and sometimes you fizzle. But this build is super defensive. Going into the Force meta, I think this will be a popular build, especially with, I think the card's name is Mecha Makapacha. That card's going to be coming out soon. It's really good. I'll definitely be doing another deck profile when I get that too. So let's see. Now we go into grade 2s. So this is your optimal grade 2 ride. Rare Impactus Celestial Artemiy. When placed on van or rear, Soul Blast 1, call a card from your damage and put the top card into your damage face down. So there's a nice little combo between him and her, but we'll go into that in a moment. If you don't have this copy and you're considering Angel Feathers, pick it up now. It doesn't matter where we go into the next format or whatever, or how much support comes out. I think this card's going to have a really good lifespan for a while. It's been with us since like the first set, and it's just not going anywhere. It's really good. It helps out in a lot of matchups, like decks that retire, like Murakami or Nubatama. They bounce your board and say pitch cards. What else? Kagros. This gets you back in the game. It's one card, and then potentially you could have 2 front row columns just by him. So if you don't have this, I recommend it. He's definitely going to go up in price again. I think he's at like $4 right now. Pick up your copies. Then we have Freezing Granter. There you go. When it's placed on van or rear, Soul Blast, choose a card from your opponent's rear guard, put it in damage, and they choose a card and heal it. Same as ergediel. Ergediel is more control. You just want to control the board, make big columns, and hit for big things. When it attacks, counterblast, and it gets +5 for each card face up in your opponent's damage. So I've done it sometimes where my opponent's on grade 2 with 2 damage, and you just attack skill. He's swinging for 19. So now especially in the early game, like this version can rush. So in the early game, this guy, he's just 19. If they don't have a 15, they have to take the hit, and it's like, wow, cool. Or they have to waste a 15, which takes away from later game. Then we have Hygienist Angel. She is your big beat stick of the deck. This unit gets +5 for each card in your damage zone. That's continuous, so it's on your opponent's turn too. So she can potentially get up to 32. That's no back row support. And if you play Protect 2s, which occasionally it does come up, she's just huge. And she's just like, haha. Some people play her at 4. I don't think 4 is the correct number because you go through your deck really fast, and you will see her even at 3. Sometimes you don't even need to see her to get the win. So, there's also another unit I want to talk about. This one, Wild Shot Celestial. When placed from hand, if a new card was put into your damage zone this turn, counterblast 1 and call a card from your drop zone. I've seen a lot of people in the other build I was talking about, the Sorachi Metatron build, play her and him as like your main 2 grade 3s. So I used to play her. I only played her at 2. I don't think 4 is ever really needed. Like, even in control matchups, especially with what's his name, Mecha coming out, she's gonna be obsolete. But it's like what, 50 cents? I'd say pick up your 4 copies now too, just in case. I don't think it's gonna do anything, but it might. So watch people's deck builds, and you just got to see what's going on. So now for the grade 1s, this is your optimal ride. Helpful Attendant. She just came out from the last set of Infinity Cradles, I think it is. When rolled upon, put this card into your damage zone, face down, and call a card from your damage zone to rear. If a new card was put into your opponent's damage zone this turn, she gets +5. So I've run into a lot where people say, do you have any on hits? And your response is no. You have no on hits. People ask that often because they're like, yeah, if there's an on hit, I'm not going to take it. But then this isn't an on hit. If a new card is put into your opponent's damage zone, so that's even by battle, she will get +5. And then I've had people get so mad. They're like, oh my gosh, you didn't say there was an on hit. There's not an on hit, bro. It just procs when a new card is put into the damage. That could happen during main phase, so she's really good. If you don't have your copies, please get your 4 copies. She's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think she's sitting at $7 right now. Get your copies. This is what we've been waiting for. And yeah. Then we have Underlie Celestial Hesed. Counterblast 1, swap a card from your hand into... Swap a unit from your hand into your damage zone. It says unit, so you can't put a protect gift. Boo. But typically you swap her, and you get your superior ride extra turns if you need it. Then, last but not least, for grade 1s, Dispensed Angel. If a new card was put into your opponent's damage zone, this turn, this unit gets +10. Oh, wait. That is a hard glare. Boom, there you go. She's 7k base. She makes 17. +1 trigger, that's 27 no support. She's really good, especially with early game. Like, there have been times where if I'm going first and I have like 2 of her in hand, I will just be like, haha, throw them all on the board, attack. They'll be like, oh, 2 7Ks, whatever. They'll take it, and then they're each 17 now. Sure, 1 defensive trigger ruins that, but if they don't hit a defensive trigger, now you get to look at them. Another card I've been seeing a few people try out is Scanning Operator. At the end of the battle, it boosts if a new card was put into your opponent's damage zone. Put this unit into soul and draw a card and discard a card. I hate this card so much. I guess it's the filter. You want to see more cards. I've never run into the problem where I'm not seeing what I need to see, but I guess it does come up once in a while. So if you don't have your copies, I guess get this. It's super cheap. And then we'll run into the trigger lineup. Real simple. 4, 8 crits. Yay! It's super heavy crit based deck. Some people play 6 crit, 6 draw. I believe 8 crits is better, especially because you're putting so much pressure out. If you just hit a crit early game, sometimes that's just enough. If you hit a crit late game, it's just enough. And your hand size should always be like ahead of your opponent. Even if it's not, you have a lot of cards that just push you to even out. Like, there's a lot of 1-for-1 trades in this deck. Then 4 draws, 4 heals. I talked about a little bit of the play style this whole time. But let's see. What else can I talk about? Like strong stuff. So yeah, ergediel, best boy. Oh, there's a cool combo where if you counterblast 1, you put this in the damage, and then you can rewrite over it if you need to. Weaknesses of the deck. It's a protect deck. Theoretically, it should lose excel. If your opponent rushes you hard enough, you should be able, like, they should take the game from you. If you guard early enough, typically, you should be good. And all you really try to do with this deck is control. Late game is where this deck shines. If they let you go into late game, they've already lost. Decks with huge columns, let's say like D-Police and Melody, it's a real big problem. I didn't realize it for a while, but D-Police is ridiculous, and it just makes these big columns that are like 33 consistently. And yes, you have perfect guards, but sometimes perfect guards just aren't enough. And what other matchups are difficult? I would say Shadow Paladins can be difficult, but that's also why you play ergediel, because you put their blaster darts into the damage zone, and there you go. You don't have to deal with it. What else? What else? Strengths, weaknesses. Yeah. Overall, I think like the deck it's very, very balanced, especially for a protect deck. It does what force does, but it gets you a protect gift. And then it has like it lets you draw cards too. Oh, there you go. It doesn't draw too much. Like there's not I don't believe there's a single card in here that says draw one. But almost every card like not every card, but you do just have your strong cards like this guy and this girl. And if you see them early enough, they net you so much advantage that it makes it almost hard for your opponent to keep up with the advantage that you're getting. Playstyle, yeah. I don't know. I think I covered everything. If you like this deck profile, please hit that like, subscribe button down below. I'm going to post 2 more Himiko videos. One's going to be posted tomorrow on Friday, one on Monday, and then you'll see me piloting this deck a lot. So get ready for that, and bye.